A very good evening and a warm welcome to everyone who's taken out time today on a busy Monday evening to be a part of this very important discussion. So, with this, we bring to you January 2025's first clinician led session with a very important and a unique topic. Normally, we don't end up discussing this topic very often, and we came up with this thought, we brainstormed with the speakers and the panelists, and we thought we should start the new year with a nice and positive, renewed commitment to make, some promises to the earth. So, with that, I'm very excited that the topic for today is going to be making diabetes management safe and environment friendly. Now, what do we aim to do? So basically, we are going to talk about the significant amount of waste that is generated, which is a part of the process of diabetes management, voluntarily or involuntary. All of us who live with diabetes of any kind, whether it's type 1 or type 2, we realize that the cumulative annual waste generated is massive. So, are we doing enough? Are we doing enough to understand how do we collect this waste? Where do we dispose it? How do we close the entire loop of making sure that this biomedical waste is managed in an efficient manner? So, for this important topic, I'd love to introduce the speakers and panelists for today, as well as our committed moderator. So, the moderator for today's session is going to be Dr. Owais Pirzada. He comes from Srinagar and he's a consultant with diabetes and endocrinology. His special interest in type 1 diabetes and pregnancy, as well as metabolic syndrome and intensive insulin management, brings his commitment to our group, Empower T1D. Empower is a driven group of young clinicians who are committed to talk about type 1 diabetes. With that, they have also onboarded us advocates who are living with type 1 diabetes. Dr. Owais has always been very enthusiastic to be a part of this group. With a lot of his awards and honors, he's very committed to make a difference and an impact in the field of type 1 diabetes. With that, we also would love to introduce Dr. Anju Virmani, very well known in this field. Dr. Virmani is a senior consultant and endocrinologist from Delhi. Not only she's the founder president at ISPE and the program director of Ideal, she's a very committed contributor to ISPAD. With her clinical practice, I can very well say that she has her heart and soul in the type 1 diabetes community. We have some very exciting panelists also. With the word empower, we not only, use it just for our group, but we know that the clinicians who are engaged and who are a part of this lovely group really and truly empower all of us living with type 1 diabetes. We have Dr. Hitesh Sarogi, who is a very enthusiastic, participant of Empower T1D. He's a diabetologist, certified in endocrinology and diabetes from Royal College of Physicians, UK. We have Mr. Harsh Kohli, who is living with type 1, and he also has a young son living with type 1. Mr. Harsh manages Blue Care Pharmacy, and very lovingly the community calls him as the 24/7 helpline for type 1 diabetes. Today we also have a special guest who very willingly agreed to join us last minute, Mr. Bachchan Pal Singh. Mr. Bachchan is living with type 1 diabetes, but also he's an environmental engineer. He's with the Punjab Pollution Control Board, working with the Department of Science, Technology and Environment, Government of Punjab. The reason we have really, handpicked these panelists today is that we really want to address every single stage of diabetes management and how do we use these, waste which is generated, how do we dispose them, how do we close the loop with the bio-waste medical management. I'm really excited to hand over now to Dr. Owais, and I'm sure that they will leave us with an absolutely engaging discussion. Over to you, Dr. Owais.
Thank you, Riddhi. Good evening, everyone. It is an absolute honor for me to moderate this important topic. As you said, this topic is not often spoken about, but very, very important. And the speaker, as you already introduced, needs no introduction. Um, just I want to add few lines that I know Dr. Unju since 2018 when she organized the first ISPAD meeting which happened in India. So that was my first ISPAD meeting, and it is really an honor to moderate this session while she's a speaker. So without wasting any further time, I would hand over the session to Dr. Anju Vinwani, madam.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much for the kind words. Uh, Waste management is something which is really one of my passionate bees in the bonnet. It's something that I feel very strongly about because we take it for granted and we push things under the carpet. So, first of all, welcome to 2025. I think it's a very significant year. And welcome to a year in which we've had something which defines massive. We've got the Mahakumbh going on, and it's really a Maha thing. And what it typifies is that you can have huge volumes and yet be ecologically sensitive. That they're managing the Kumbh in such a way that we will not be flooded with waste at the end of it. And I think we need, as a community, to recognize that, like the Mahakumbh of diabetes, all the waste that we're likely to generate, we must find some way to limit it. And Riddhi very beautifully put together all the various challenges where we've encapsulated what are the various kinds of waste we generate, whether it is sharps or plastic or glass or electronics or chemical or paper or biological. And we will be talking really not today about the problems, but how to find solutions for all of them. So let me start, in fact, with the most important to my mind category of waste, which is the sharps. Now, all of us, if you're going to take insulin, are going to have the needles which we will need to throw away. We're going to have lancets which we need to throw away. We will be using syringes if we don't want to use pen needles. We have the sensor applicators, we've got the patch applicators. All of them have sharp needles, and most people just tend to throw them into the garbage. This can cause infection and injury. In fact, sometimes I've had instances where the children have, where the families have not been careful, and a child playing in the house has injured himself or herself. So we really need to think about what we are going to do, and I'll start with my somewhat ghati, somewhat lowbrow solutions. Now, if it comes to syringes, for example, we've got this huge amount of plastic, and it's good quality plastic. So why waste all of it? And the simplest thing possible is to do something which you're told not to do, which is to don't bend the needle. But if you've got a bottle like this, which is a little hole, and if you just bend the needle outside, don't touch it at all, and twist it, the needle's gone. This bottle I've been carrying around for the last 3 years. It's got any number of needles and even staples in it, which can hurt people. And it's still not full. And this is a tiny bottle. If I had a slightly bigger one, it would go ages. Now, at the end of it, I have this lovely piece of good quality plastic. And this is something that nobody can possibly recycle or possibly injure. And we'll be talking about what to do about plastic waste. Similarly, when it comes to the pen needles, if we can use the outer cover of the pen needle, store it carefully and give it to the kabadi for plastic recycling, and just dispose of this. And what I insist on is that the needles are brought back to me and disposed of in the hospital or given to the lab. Now, the hospital sometimes get a bit upset if they're given this bigger bottle of sharps and say, why should we take responsibility? But if you give the hospital little by little or you give the lab little by little, most people will not say no. And so we can save ourselves the responsibility of causing injury to somebody or infection to somebody because we've not disposed them out properly. And I would turn around and say that this is somewhat simplistic and very doable, but very simple. Harsh, Hitesh, what do you do in this regard?
Good evening, ma'am. You're absolutely right. Like the disposal of these needles is very important.
Hitesh, you're
Like
not
since I've
audible.
been,
Can you just turn on the volume a bit?
hello, am I audible now? Hello. Just
So you're audible, but your voice is feeble.
now. Hello.
Better.
Yeah, better.
Yeah, it is better now.
Yeah. Ma'am, exactly. You said absolutely right thing. The needle disposal is one of the biggest challenges I do face in my clinic. Since I've been working in the government setup, it's very hard to convince the patient to bring the needle because they think it's an extra thing. So what I do, I always ask them if they can bring the needle in some packets, then we can ask our staff to dispose it off. And you rightly said, smaller steps makes a huge difference. When we say bring it together, the staff is also reluctant not to take it. But if they are bringing it in a small amount, the staff also faces no problem in disposing it off.
And I think one thing we need to remember is that it should be a thick plastic bottle, not a panni or a water bottle or something. And I like this size bottle because you can't keep too much in it. So you don't get a big ass collection. So if you have a little bottle of this size and you can give these syringes, the pen needles in this, then it becomes very convenient. Harsh, what do you do?
Uh, I remember that when I was diagnosed way back in 1992, my father always used to say कि इन चीजों से बच के रहना है कि किसी को चुभ सकती हैं. So he's an engineer and very जुगाड़ू kind of person. So he bought a container at that time. बोला इसमें डाल दिया करो. We were not that कि पूरा. We used to put syringe, the complete syringe. Those were those times. So that became a habit into me somehow. But after my son got diagnosed, the kind of waste both of us were generating on a daily basis. I mean, it was huge, honestly. Be it the lancets, be it the needles, be it anything. And we are on the pump right now. So imagine somebody on a pump. I believe somebody who's on a pump generates more waste because the tubings that's plastic, and these things they can be easily recycled. You just need to be a little bit more cautious about how to dispose them. The only waste we generate now sharps is the needle, the candle that comes out, the blue part of the quick set, nothing else. And yes, again, sensors, they come with, I think, the biggest waste generation these days is from the sensors. They're actually huge. So, and now as a pharmacy, I do try and educate people, but it's not that easy. People do not. I know people don't follow that. So it's not easy to ask people to do it every time. People do. We have to keep on repeating. आपने sharps कहाँ dispose किए? And what thing I found worked is talking to the child directly. That helped. मम्मा को प्लीज बोलना कि शार्प अलग रखें, पापा को बोलना नीडल अलग रखें. So this has made a change. Things are started changing, but we still have a big way to go.
So let me confess what I do. One thing is something that a child only pointed out. This 9-year-old came and said, आंटी हमको इसको बहुत ध्यान से रखना है बिकॉज अगर ये सुई किसी के जानवर के मुंह में चली जाए तो वो तो भूख से मर जाएगा, वो तो तिल तिल के मरेगा. Now that image has stayed with me, that some little animal, a cow or a cow is not even a small animal. It'd be terrible to watch a cow starve to death, a dog or a cat being injured by such a thing. So I repeat that imagery to my families. And I look at, as you said, look at the children and say, do you really want an animal to die slowly? And they say no, and they get very sentimental. What I find very useful to appeal to the older generation, all the white-haired people like me, I tell them, ye paap mat lena apne sir pe. And then that also resonates with them that they've already got a hostile situation at home. They feel that maybe they've done some sins in the past. So I think it's a very useful way to use religious emotional atyachar to achieve something which is a good thing. And we're not doing anybody any harm. So if we can use emotional religion to help us do this. Bachchan ji, आप क्या करते हो? मतलब once we've collected the plastic and we've given it to the kabadi, what do you advise as far as plastic recycling is concerned? Because it's all very good quality plastic.
Good evening, ma'am, and good evening to all the panelist members. I am actually I am a part of Punjab Pollution Control Board. It is a regulatory body which monitors all kinds of waste. Is it whether are they being managed as per the rules notified, and specifically if I talk about biomedical waste, the responsibility as per the rules, the responsibility lies with the biomedical waste generator. So we ensure that the waste is segregated at source, be it clinics, hospitals, colleges. Then we ensure that they are put in the right color coded bins, and then we ensure that it is transported safely by the common biomedical waste treatment facility. Uh, uh, Going to your question regarding the plastic waste, we ensure that the recyclable part of the plastic waste in the biomedical waste goes to the red colored container, and we ensure that the reusable plastic must not go to the kabadi wala, because they didn't manage them in a scientific manner, and there is still a possibility of contamination there. So we uh, uh,
तो आप
we
कह
ensure
रहे हैं
that
कबाड़ी वाले को ना दें?
ना दें, yes ma'am.
अच्छा, तो
In regard to
किसको दें?
biomedical
Because
waste, ma'am.
agencies कौन से हैं? Because which are the government agencies which will help us with this, or any other agencies for that matter?
In Punjab specifically, we have authorized a few persons to collect the plastic waste related, which is in contact with the biomedical waste. They recycle it in their own scientific manner by autoclaving it, I mean disinfecting it, and then they recycle it. The plastic waste related to the biomedical waste.
जैसे ये नीडल है,
Yes, ma'am.
5-6 बार मैंने यूज करी, इंसुलिन लगाई, अब मैं इसको फेंकना चाह रही हूँ,
जी
तो जो पार्ट था वो तो मैंने इसमें डाल दिया,
जी
तो मैं अब डिस्पोज ऑफ भी नहीं कर रही, बिकॉज ये तो बहुत दिन बोतल चलेगी,
जी
इसमें
ma'am.
तो करने की कोई बात ही नहीं है। सिमिलरली जब मैं पंप यूज कर रही हूँ, तो उसकी जो ट्यूबिंग है
जी
उसमें से मेरी बॉडी में जा रहा है, तो देयर इज नो चांस ऑफ, आई मीन देयर इज नो नीड टू ऑटोक्लेव इट टू माय माइंड। आई एम अप्रोचिंग दिस इन अ वेरी अनसाइंटिफिक वे टू सम एक्सटेंट, बट अगर उसको ऑटोक्लेव करने की जरूरत नहीं है, तो अगर हम वो सब लफड़े ना भी करें, तो कौन
ma'am.
सी जगह है जहां पे हम सेफली ये सब दे सकते हैं?
We have authorized the local bodies.
Mhm.
The local bodies, we have authorized them to collect the reusable biomedical waste like the plastics in a separate container. So they collect it separately, and but they further disinfect it with the help of autoclave to rule out any possibility of contamination, because we cannot micromanage all the biomedical waste generating at all micro points. मतलब हमने लोकल बॉडीज के जो वेस्ट कलेक्ट करने आता है उसको ही ऑथराइज किया हुआ है, उसकी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है, लेकिन वो प्लास्टिक वेस्ट जो बायोमेडिकल वेस्ट के साथ निकलता है उसको वो सेपरेटली सेग्रीगेट करता है, मतलब जनरल वेस्ट में मिक्स नहीं करता।
अच्छा,
जी मैम। मैम दिस इज मेनली डन टू कंप्लाई विद द बायोमेडिकल वेस्ट रूल्स। उस रूल्स में मेंशन्ड है कि जो भी बायोमेडिकल वेस्ट है, आइदर इट इज रीयूजेबल लाइक प्लास्टिक्स, वो जनरल वेस्ट के साथ मिक्स नहीं होगा।
नहीं होगा।
It is basically a statutory compliance in the biomedical waste rules.
राइट, एंड नीडल्स तो हम ऑफ कोर्स एज आई सेड हम लोग हॉस्पिटल
Yes,
में डाल ही देते हैं।
जी जी।
अच्छा, तो ये तो हो गया शार्प्स के बारे में, और आपने प्लास्टिक का तो हमें काफी हद तक बता ही दिया, पर इसमें अब जैसे मुझे फिर भी, सॉरी टू बी रेपिटेटिव, अब इसमें तो कोई बायोमेडिकल है भी नहीं ना, ये तो सिंपल प्लास्टिक है, इसको हम क्यों इतना फर्क करें, इतना इलेबोरेट तरीके से करें, ये क्यों नहीं कबाड़ी के पास जा सकते?
मैम, जैसे मैंने पहले पहले बताया था आपको, बायोमेडिकल वेस्ट मतलब टू रूल आउट एनी काइंड ऑफ कंटेमिनेशन, मतलब उस पॉसिबिलिटी को रूल आउट करने के लिए जो भी प्लास्टिक वेस्ट
वो
बायोमेडिकल के साथ
वॉल्यूम में ज्यादा हो जाते हैं ना कि वो एजेंसीज डील कर पाएंगे?
yes ma'am, they recover their collection cost and recycling cost from it. They charge they charge the end user and the waste generator. मतलब द सर्कुलर इकोनॉमी इज बिल्ट इन दिस वे कि ये जो वेस्ट है रिकवर भी हो जाए और ये डिसइंफेक्ट भी हो जाए और रिसाइकल भी हो जाए। मतलब वेस्ट सेग्रीगेशन पार्ट पहले ही इतना कॉम्प्लिकेटेड है, तो उसको और मतलब थोड़ा सा सिंप्लीफाई करने के लिए बायोमेडिकल वेस्ट, चाहे वो किसी भी तरह से मतलब किसी इन्फेक्टेड नहीं है, स्टिल वी वांट कि वो बायोमेडिकल वेस्ट का अगर पार्ट है तो वो बायोमेडिकल वेस्ट में ही काउंट हो, वो प्लास्टिक। जैसे आपने वो कैप का एग्जांपल दिया, वी कंसिडर इट एज अ बायोमेडिकल वेस्ट ओनली, though it is not in direct contact with the with any infected material, but we still consider it a biomedical waste to ensure any to rule out any possibility of contamination, either with drugs or with blood or any other thing.
जी। बाकी भी एक्चुअली काफी और प्लास्टिक हो जाता है, क्योंकि पैकेजिंग एंड वो सब, तो वो तो आई सपोज वी कैन डिस्पोज ऑफ
Yes, वो
लाइक
that
अदर
can be
प्लास्टिक,
disposed of, ma'am. The
लाइक
cover, the
रेगुलर
plastic cover, carbon material,
वो
even
प्लास्टिक
plastic
में जा सकते हैं।
caps can also be discarded if it is not in direct contact with the insulin or uh, needle or any other thing.
जी। तो जब हम ग्लास पे आते हैं,
जी।
इसका आप क्या सजेस्ट करते हैं? क्योंकि ये तो किसी ने सवाल चैट बॉक्स में भी पूछा है कि दिस इज डेंजरस।
Yes,
तो
ma'am.
वायल्स हैं, इंसुलिन कार्ट्रिजेस हैं, कुछ ग्लास सिरिंजेस हैं, तो इनका आप क्या सजेस्ट करते हैं?
The shafts will go to the white box, जैसा आपने बताया, पंचर प्रूफ, लीक प्रूफ white boxes, and the waste shafts जैसे कि ग्लास हैं, that this will go into the blue colored cardboard box. तो वो बॉक्स में कलेक्ट करके the biomedical waste facility, the collection facility will collect it separately, and then they bury in a deep burial pits. This is their final disposal. ये रिसाइकल भी नहीं होता, उसको ये डीपली बरी करते हैं, उसको डीप बरियल में बरी।
नहीं करते, मतलब they just bury it.
यस, इट इज बरी।
अच्छा। एंड इनका आप क्या करते हैं बच्चन पाल जी? यूज्ड बैटरीज, जो इलेक्ट्रॉनिक वेस्ट हम जनरेट करते हैं, तो थैंक यू बेटा। सो सेंसर का बड़ा प्लास्टिक हो जाता है, एप्लीकेटर का तो होता ही है, एज हर्षजी सेड, बहुत ज्यादा उसका वेस्ट हो जाता है, हमारी बैटरीज इतनी निकल आती हैं, तो उनका आप फिर कैसे करते हैं?
जो इलेक्ट्रॉनिक वेस्ट विच इज नॉट इन डायरेक्ट कंटैक्ट विद स्किन और एनी बॉडी फ्लूइड, that will be treated as electronic waste only, and that will go to the electronic waste dismantler or recycler, whatever the case may be, जो भी locally available है उसके पास जाएगा। एंड जो जैसे सेंसर की निडल है, needle will go into the skin, and it will be contaminated with the blood. So we ensure that part of the sensor or whole composite part shall go to the yellow colored bag, which will further at end will get incinerated, मतलब उसको बर्न किया जाता है अगर वो
पूरे
किसी।
सेंसर को?
जी मैम, जी मैम, क्योंकि वो ब्लड से कंटेमिनेट हो गया।
पर उसका फिलामेंट ब्रेड से कंटेमिनेटेड है ना, अगर हम फिलामेंट काट के डाल दे तो?
वी डू नॉट अलाउ डैट, क्योंकि some people will cut, some will not cut, so इतना माइक्रो लेवल पे मैनेज करना नहीं होता। तो we tell the healthcare facilities and the clinics that जो सेंसर पार्ट है वो if it is infected with the blood, वो आपका येलो कलर्ड कंटेनर में जाएगा जो अल्टीमेटली जाके बर्न होगा.
Harshi, what do you do with the expired insulin and the जो टेस्ट स्ट्रिप्स आपके ना यूज हुए या एक्सपायर हो गए या और कोई केमिकल्स आपके एक्सपायर हो गए, उनका आप क्या करते हो?
Expired insulins, as a pharmacy, we send it back to the manufacturer or the CFAs. Test strips, there is nothing as such because they're unused, so they save to dispose of as plastic waste. So that's but it's very rare कि कभी test strips में expire हुई हूँ. Very very rare. I don't remember because हमारी usage ही इतनी हो जाती है कि ना करते हुए भी we end up consuming 100 test strips.
And
But,
strips will have to be, the used strips will have to be put in the blood contaminated thing. तो वो तो
yes.
as Bachanpal Singh ji is saying, वो तो incinerate ही होगा, उसको तो जलाना ही पड़ेगा.
But ma'am, what I feel, and I think Dr. Hitesh and Dr. Peerzada will also agree with कि हमें पता है ये सब कुछ है, बट अप्रोचेबल नहीं है. मैं कैसे अप्रोच करूं अपने नियरेस्ट जो रिसाइकलर है, गवर्नमेंट ऑथराइज रिसाइकलर? मेरे लिए तो सबसे बेस्ट है कि हाँ भाई, कबाड़ी वाला आ रहा है, न्यूज़पेपर लेकर जा रहा है, ये सब लेके जा रहा है, ले भाई ये भी तोल दे साथ में. So we need to, I think, highlight these things, and we can request Mr. Bachchan to share a document कि कहाँ हम जा सकते हैं across the. I mean, this is not limited only to Punjab. This is limited
Yes.
to people across the country की,
Okay.
and the laws are similar, more or less similar across the country. तो बच्चन जी आपसे ये रिक्वेस्ट है सर, एक बार आप प्लीज ये डूज एंड डोंट्स हमारे से शेयर कर दीजिएगा. Really really helpful.
Definitely, sir. आपने बिल्कुल सही कहा. Laws are also for pan India, and I can explain you the Punjab model, that what we are doing at local level. It might be similar in other states also. For the healthcare facilities, like clinics, hospitals, and things likewise, we have authorized few persons, few agencies, which will collect their which collects the biomedical waste from the source at individual locations every 48 hours. Within 48 hours they have to lift their biomedical waste. These are for institutions like healthcare facilities, hospitals, clinics. लेकिन जो हाउसहोल्ड वेस्ट है, जिसमें आप एक इंडिविजुअल लेवल पे जो वेस्ट निकलता है हाउस होल्ड का, उसके लिए हमने लोकल बॉडीज की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी फिक्स की हुई है. जो उनका जो वेस्ट कलेक्टर आता है, घर से वेस्ट कलेक्ट करता है, we have told them to provide separate bins specifically for biomedical waste. And for that to happen, and for the effective implementation of that, we hold seminars, at ward-wise seminars, and we guide the individual households to segregate their waste at their source. अगर सोर्स पे सेग्रीगेशन नहीं होगी तो सारा सिस्टम फेल हो जाएगा. मतलब इंडिविजुअल को हम मोटिवेट करते हैं, गाइड करते हैं कि आपके घर से जो वेस्ट निकलेगा उसको आपको अपने घर में ही सेग्रीगेट करना पड़ेगा. वो किस तरह से सेग्रीगेट करना है, वी टीच दी लोकल बॉडी. जो लोकल बॉडी का जो वेस्ट कलेक्टर है उसको बोलते हैं कि आप जिसके घर में वेस्ट कलेक्ट करने जाते हो उसको बोलो कि आप घर पे ही वेस्ट को सेग्रीगेट करो, अपने किसी बीकर में, कंटेनर में, उसको सेपरेटली लिफ्ट कराओ.
I just Google Bachchanji as we were discussing. In Delhi, we have just 2 biomedical waste collection agencies. I just
Yes.
Googled that while we were
Ji, ji.
speaking. So
Ji.
speaking on a population of more than
Ji.
almost 3 CR people, Delhi ki
Ji.
population is almost 3 crores. And we
Right,
just
right.
have 2 biomedical.
Right,
So
right.
I think lot of awareness regarding this needs to be generated, and the community and the clinicians both have to join hands. for this?
De-
Sorry to
definitely,
interrupt
sir.
in between.
डेफिनेटली सर, जो क्लिनिक्स हैं इंडिविजुअल लेवल पे या हॉस्पिटल्स हैं, वो जो लोकल आईएमए है, आपके भी दिल्ली में आईएमए होगी, मेडिकल एसोसिएशन, वी कंडक्ट रेगुलर सेमिनार्स, मीटिंग्स विद देम, कि अगर उनका कोई भी नया मेंबर है, इवन जो लैब्स हैं, क्लिनिक्स हैं, उनके अलग अलग ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस हैं, उनके जो प्रेसिडेंट्स हैं वो हमसे मीटिंग करते हैं। वी आल्सो कंडक्ट रेगुलर मीटिंग्स विद देम, कि अगर आपका कोई नया मेंबर जुड़ा है तो आप उसको इस सिस्टम का पार्ट बनाओ, टीच देम। देन वी हेल्ड 6 मंथली सेमिनार्स एट देयर लोकेशंस, उनको गाइड करते हैं। तो उससे क्या है, सारा सिस्टम सर एक ऑलरेडी सेटअप हो चुका है, जिसके कारण जो वेस्ट है, बायोमेडिकल वेस्ट एट क्लिनिक्स एंड हॉस्पिटल्स एंड लैब्स, वो तो अलग हो रहा है। लेकिन जो इंडिविजुअल लेवल पे है वो एक बहुत बड़ा चैलेंज है। अभी भी यहाँ पे इतना परफेक्टली नहीं हो रहा, इट्स स्टिल अ चैलेंज, लेकिन हम एक सिस्टम को एक पुश करने के लिए ये रेगुलरली सेमिनार्स कंडक्ट कर रहे हैं, जैसे अभी आज का आप करवा रहे हो। इट इज अ पार्ट ऑफ सेम थिंग।
सो हम अपने पेशेंट्स को फिर यही बोले कि वो क्लिनिक में ले आए?
इफ द क्लिनिक एग्रीज, मैम, इट कैन बी डन, अगर क्लिनिक एग्री करता है, क्योंकि द बायोमेडिकल वेस्ट होल्ड सम कॉस्ट, उसको लिफ्टिंग की कॉस्ट पे करनी पड़ती है। इफ द क्लिनिक एग्रीज कि आप अपना वेस्ट हमें दे दो, हम आपके बिहाफ पे आपको वेस्ट लिफ्ट करा देंगे, देन इट्स ऑल सॉर्टेड।
जी हितेश, डॉक्टर हितेश।
हाँ, मैं इसमें यही ऐड करना चाह रहा था मैम। लैक ऑफ एजुकेशन even amongst our clinician is one of the biggest challenges which we face during the biomedical waste segregation as well as management. Although all hospitals have their different departments who teaches them, but lack of education, lack of our response, rather I would say कि casual way में ले लेते हैं, इससे कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता है। तो ये बहुत डिफरेंस करता है। हमारे पास पेशेंट आता है, हम उसे हर चीज समझाते हैं, मगर इसके ऊपर भी अगर ध्यान दे तो ये बहुत डिफरेंस क्रिएट कर सकता है। तो ये सबसे पहले तो ये होता है, जो बायोमेडिकल वेस्ट है उसके बारे में अगर हम पेशेंट को बताएंगे ना तो समझेगा नहीं, उसे यही लगता है कि ये कूड़ा है, इसको निकालना है किसी तरह घर से।
But Dr. Hitesh, Bachchanpal ji has raised a very important point ना, कि मैं अगर अस्पताल में इतना बड़ा bottle dump करती हूँ, hospital is going to get very upset with me because they'll say, who's going to spend the money for that? Now, each will actually come with a dabba this size. And if I see, I have a very small setup, but suppose I were to see only 2 T1Ds in a day, only 2. So I have 50 in a month. That's 50 boxes of this size in a month from one doctor. Multiply this with busy clinics. A lot of diabetes clinics run clinics in which 40 or 50 people are seen in a day. So then even if we educate our parents, what do? They can bring it. But if the clinic is not willing to spend the money, then we are stuck again. So one appeal I have to the entire community also is something that is not really encouraged. And everybody keeps saying that if we use all these things single, then it's much better because the pain is less. Now, in Yogdhan Foundation, we deal with a lot of children who are quite small. And what is amazing is that the children are not that pained by a syringe which is used 4 or 5 or 6 times, or a pen needle which is used about 8 to 10 times. So I very strongly feel, and I would love to hear your responses about how do you feel about reusing? Is it such a big deal? Because if I use a syringe 10 times, or say 6 times, I have reduced my wastage to 1/6. So as a community, what are your thoughts on that?
Ma'am, if I may add, I don't think there's any problem. And I think all of us, besides whether there's a constraint of finance or not, I think we all do that. We all reuse it multiple times. It's just that we have to remind ourselves to change it, just for the, respect of that, it needs to be changed. But I think the awareness needs to come in from every level. And I think अभी हमें ये भी realize हुआ है कि ये किसी एक की प्रॉब्लम नहीं, हमको सबको साथ में मिलके इस पे काम करना पड़ेगा. सो जैसे सबके पर्सपेक्टिव्स आए, आई एम ग्लैड वी टच्ड अपॉन दिस टॉपिक, क्योंकि इट्स अ मैमथ टास्क. अगर कोई चाहे तो भी ये प्रोजेक्ट इतनी बड़ी है कि अकेले नहीं हैंडल कर पाएंगे. सो इट हैज़ टू बी ड्रिवन फ्रॉम द clinicians, but we do understand there is a constraint there, because as you said, if they are seeing lesser patients, are they able to devote that kind of time? Or like Bachchanji said, the cost for biomedical waste lifting. But as a community, we need to drive this. And I think being community leads, I think today Harsh and I can take up that responsibility, that we'll work on this project with Bachchanji and make sure that like how we have like so many other awareness topics, we will do a follow-up in different languages with the community, because today it's a revelation for us कि
An eye
color
opener.
coding कैसे करनी है,
It's
क्या
an eye opener.
it's an eye opener. So I think we all take it upon ourselves as this one very big responsibility.
That we recycle consciously, because there again, as you quite rightly said, the clinicians need to be made aware of the simple fact that when the doctor says something, it sometimes becomes a word of God. Now, if the doctor says throw away a syringe each time, I've seen often even middle class families who can't afford it dutifully throwing away the syringe each time because that's what they're told. And the syringe is going in the garbage, so the sharps are being generated. Each one time the syringe is wasted, we're talking about money, we're talking about cutting corners somewhere else so that this money can be paid. So sometimes they will resist sensor use because they're saying they're spending so much money on the syringes and the basic costs are so high. So I would appeal to all clinicians also, and Hitesh is very active in several clinical forums, that we need to look within ourselves.
Yes,
And
sure.
Oves is very active in several forums, that we as doctors need to perhaps emphasize that we can reuse safely. Even the richest of the lot can reuse safely, so that
Yes,
at
ma'am.
least the earth and think of the burden we're putting on the earth with. If I use 5 shots a day and I'm generating 5 syringes a day as an individual, it's a huge amount.
Bachchanji, you may go ahead.
Exactly, ma'am.
Yeah.
हाँ, यही मैम जो आप बोल रहे थे वो एकदम सही बताया आपने कि अगर हम सिरिंज को रीयूज करते हैं तो उससे हमारा कॉस्टिंग कम होगा. तो इसलिए सबसे पहले जब भी मरीज आता है उसे अगर हम समझा दें कि हाइजीन मेंटेन करे, सेफ्टी कंडीशन मेंटेन करे, then it can be reused again and again for at least 5 to 6 times for the syringes, and for the needles that's used in pen that could go by up to 10 to 12 times. Guidance and education is the important thing.
तो रिच फैमिलीज को भी बोले ना.
हाँ मैम, सबको बोला जाता है, वही है, कुछ फैमिलीज को लगता है
भी
कि एक
उतना
बार
ही
यूज किया.
निकलेगा.
एग्जैक्टली मैम, सबके लिए मतलब 4 से 5 बार तो आप यूज कर ही सकते हैं एक सिरिंज को. मोस्टली आप पेन यूज करने लग गए, उसे कम से कम 8 से 10 टाइम. मेरी मदर है, जब उन्हें इंसुलिन लगता है, लाइक शी इज ऑन बेसल इंसुलिन, तो फिर उन्हें भी मैं 8 से 10 बार यूज करने बोलता हूँ. इट्स नॉट कि मैंने 2 दिन 3 दिन यूज किया. ऑल्दो बाय द टाइम इट गोज बाय 10 to 12, वो थोड़ा सा पेनफुल होता है, बट उससे ज्यादा फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. The only thing I make sure कि hygiene and aseptic condition need to be maintained, and patient need to be taught that.
I just want to, madam, if I can,
तो जी
I just want to add, in my experience, see, when we're giving education about the insulin injection techniques, most of the people, what they do is if they use a pen, the pen has got the outer plastic coverage, the bigger one and the smaller one. What I have observed is that most of the times these people, put the smaller one in the needle, and that actually touches the needle and it gets blunted. If the needle gets blunted, and that is where it causes pain, it causes bleeding. So we have to educate the patients, the families, that how to safely, take the needle out from the pen. 100% times I have seen that they throw the bigger plastic, the bigger outer coverage. They throw that and they keep the smaller one, and then they, put the cap. So we have to teach them that, you have to use the bigger one. You have to immediately throw the smaller cap and use the bigger cap. Then you can use that syringe for maybe, Dr. Ritesh said 10 days. You can use it as long as it's not causing pain and as long as it's not bleeding. And that would reduce the cost and the biomedical wastage as well.
But won't using the outer cover actually contaminate any more? Always?
Yeah. So see, I'm telling you the practice that we used to follow when I was in Australia. Like that's what their diabetes educators taught us. That most of the times they use the smaller tip. Invariably you will touch the needle. If you touch the needle, it gets blunt. So if you can safely, where do they keep the needles? Like when you take the needles out, ideally, when you use a pen, you have to take the needle out. You have to put the needle only at the time of injection. So if you can safely keep that needle in that pouch, I think the risk of contamination may be less.
We don't educate them to keep the needle out. We leave it in the pen. What happens is that some air gets sucked in. So we have to make sure that they know how to remove the air from the cartridge. Otherwise, if the needle is all over the place, then that does run the risk of contamination. And so recycling and reusing reusing can be a bigger risk because the needle is being exposed completely. So I think that's an important area also to do some research on and see what the outcomes are, because reuse definitely is something that can make a huge difference to the amount of waste we generate. And I think it's an eye-opener also because I've never thought very seriously about the strips. And yet Bachanpal Singh जी जो कह रहे हैं वो बहुत जरूरी है कि हम strips को तो बहुत इज्जत के साथ and बहुत seriously उनको incinerate करवाएं because उसपे तो actually खून लगा है.
Definitely.
And one thing one more thing that we need to discuss is that we need to actively discourage the use of disposable pens, because
yes,
I find people नहीं disposable pen दे दो, हल्का होता है, आसान होता है. अरे भाई costly भी तो होता है, and then आप pollution कर रहे हो and you yourself are adding to it by using a disposable pen. So we actively also need to start encouraging people to be on the permanent pen, the reusable ones.
Absolutely. Finally, the easiest part, I think, which we don't think about at all, and which is the paper and the packaging waste. So the packaging for all of these, the syringes, the instructional manuals, the test strips, I think can be segregated and recycled very easily. Right now, I'm on a somewhat crazy mission, which is that the hospital I work in, I get them to give me all their waste paper and we shred it and we sell it to the kabadi and we get money and buy peanuts with it. I mean, literally, we use it for peanuts. So paper is very easily recyclable. The kabadi will very gratefully buy it from you. And we do need to make sure that we recycle it again. Don't just throw it in the garbage and get it wet and dirty. तो वो तो बहुत आराम से साइकिल हो सकता है, पर हम अपने आप को भी याद दिलाएं और अपने पेशेंट्स को भी याद दिलाएं कि लैंडसेट्स, टेस्ट स्ट्रिप्स, इन्फ्यूजन सेट्स, इनको तो डेफिनेटली हॉस्पिटल में लाके डिस्कार्ड करें, थोड़ी क्वांटिटीज में भी हो. एंड जो प्लास्टिक रिसाइकल हो सकता है वो हो जाएगा. पर बचनपाल जी, मैं फिर वापस इस पे आती हूँ कि सेंसर आपने पूरा इंसिनरेट कर दिया तो एंड अदर वेरेबल डिवाइसेस को तो फिर सबको तकरीबन इंसिनरेट करना पड़ेगा ना, जितने भी वेरेबल डिवाइसेस हैं, पंप के पैचेस और सेंसर्स और.
यस मैम, यू आर आपका पॉइंट बिल्कुल वैलिड है कि पूरे डिवाइस को ही इंस्टेट करना पड़ेगा, बट दिस इज द वे इट हैज बीन रिटन इन द रूल्स, क्योंकि इट हैज बीन डिफाइंड इन द रूल्स कि अगर कोई भी एनीथिंग which has come in contact with the patient's fluid, be it body fluid, be it blood, sweat, that has to be contaminated, that has to be incinerated at the final disposal.
तो बचनपाल जी, आप कह रहे हो कि सारा का सारा दुनिया का ग्लास खाली बेरी होता है? मतलब जितनी ग्लास बॉटल्स ऐसी हैं, दूध की बॉटल्स है, ये सब पानी की बोतलें हैं,
नहीं मैम, नहीं 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 मैम, नहीं.
क्या होता है?
I would like to add, I would like to clarify कि जो glass, the glass which has any kind of medicine in it
हम्म,
और blood vials हैं जो वो, और लैब इक्विपमेंट ग्लासेस जो किसी भी स्टेज पे किसी ना किसी हेल्थ केयर फैसिलिटी के कांटेक्ट में आया है, तो उसको दे दे क्रश इट और दे पैक इट इन द डीप बुरियल्स.
बेरियल
लेकिन
ये।
जो
तो बाकी शीशे का क्या करते हैं?
बाकी शीशे का तो मैम वो रिसाइकल हो जाता है.
नहीं, वो क्या करते हैं, मतलब रिसाइकल करके कैसे, वो क्या बनाते हैं उसका?
आई हैवंट सीन एनी ग्लास इंडस्ट्री एज ऑफ नाउ मैम, इतना तो मुझे आई एम नॉट अवेयर अबाउट इट कि क्या करते हैं ग्लास का पर्टिकुलरली.
तो मैम
जो
फर्नेस
जो जो
होती है,
जो
मेल्ट होता है.
वेस्ट ग्लास होता है, आई हैवंट
Furnace
सीन
okay,
इट.
reuse.
Yes, they're melted in the furnaces and reused. Either maybe Bengal industry
Yes,
or
and
like
this might be the most best case
Bangle.
scenario, most likely scenario.
बिकॉज ग्लास इज काइंड ऑफ लीथल, एंड ग्लास को तो कबाड़ी वाले भी नहीं लेते, वो तो फेंक दो. सो आई वंडर फिर उसका होता क्या है?
ma'am, baki glass it gets recycled. It is
नहीं
recycled.
लेते, आप कबाड़ी वाले के पास जाओ, वो 1 रुपए भी नहीं देगा आपको शीशे की बोतल के लिए.
Like, ma'am, there are I know because I have a little bit packaging background knowledge as well. So
Hmm.
there are specific kabadis who buy glass bottles and वो जाती हैं recycling को ma'am. I've seen them personally doing that. So it is a practice, very very well known practice. Like Delhi के पास बहादुरगढ़ में industries हैं वो who are into like I'm forgetting the name of the plant, but it's a very very big plant. So they buy it. So yes, they buy it, ma'am. I'm forgetting the name of the industry जो लेती है, but I'll get back to you with the name.
The
I was
sir is
also
right, ma'am.
thinking, if we
Sorry.
look at the, sorry.
Yes, ma'am. The sir is right. The glass is collected separately. और जो industry का नाम ले रहे हैं, there are some industries which has been authorized to recycle glass only. They have their own scientific way of recycling it, but they recycle it.
राइट, मैं चैट बॉक्स में भी देख रही थी तो तकरीबन वही कमेंट्स आए हैं कि हम अपना ध्यान रखते तो हैं एंड वी डिस्पोज इट ऑफ इन सेपरेट बैग्स, पर फिर वही हो जाता है कि वो बैग बेचारा जाता कहाँ है. सो आई थिंक
Hindustan Glass Disposal, one of the biggest recyclers in the country. Hindustan Glass Disposal. They make literally glass bottles for any and every industry. Up to glucose and all those drips. They come in plastic bottles. But earlier on, they were Hindustan Glass, the famous name.
So Harsh, Riddhi, you have your job cut out for you. We have our job cut out for us. I think we need to figure this one out, because I think we were thinking in terms of ecology and environment, but it seems that we put so much of a burden on the environment that there are no easy answers out of this one. And
And I would like to add something, if I can, if I may.
जी सर.
मैम, ये दो पिक्चर्स शेयर की हैं मैंने. These are the last year we tracked one kabadi wala which was recycling the biomedical waste in a very unscientific manner. आप देख सकते हैं ब्लड वायल्स ऐसे ही खुले में पड़े हैं, प्लास्टिक्स छोटे छोटे वायल्स है इसमें. सभी तरह का बायोमेडिकल वेस्ट है. ब्लड तो ऐसे ही ओवरफ्लो होके गाँव के तालाब में जा रहा था, तो वो जो गांव के ही फूड चेन में एंटर कर रहा है, वो ग्राउंड वाटर में कंटेमिनेट कर रहा है. और जो प्लास्टिक है, दे वॉश इट ऑन द रोड, और रोड पे ही उसका जो कंटेमिनेटेड वाटर है रोड में ही टायर से लग के गाड़ियां लेके जा रही हैं. तो इस तरह से मैम जो कंटेमिनेशन है बायोमेडिकल वेस्ट की, इट स्प्रेड आउट. और अगर हम उसको माइन्यूटली या प्रॉपरली सेग्रीगेट नहीं करते, प्रॉपरली सेफली ट्रांसपोर्ट नहीं करते, एंड उसका एंड डिस्पोजल इफ इट्स नॉट एज पर दी rules and bylaws of the government.
G.
Yes, ma'am.
So, Riddhi, would you like to wrap up? And
I think let Dr. Oves just summarize this and then I'll, go on and take this. But I'm glad Bachchan ji apni picture share kiya because although it's very disturbing, it is the reality check for all of us, right? So,
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Thank you, madam. So there are a couple of questions. Like I may ask one question to you is that this is a very important topic, and today when I attended this, I found that even I was not aware of so many things that I learned today. Like giving the concept of this diabetes waste disposal to the families and the patients. So what do you think is the right time? Like, is it at the time of the diagnosis where the family is already burdened hearing the diagnosis, or should we start it right from the day one that these are the disposable, these are the sharps, these are the plastic? What is your opinion?
Hitesh?
You go ahead. He asks you if it's fine. I think I would say like from the first day if we start, this is not something very hard. All the diagnosis will really make an impact on their life. But if you're not discussing this part in the starting, then there might be a delay, and that waste could be aggregated in their house or somewhere else in the future. So this thing can be done by our educators, or we can also help in that particular thing if we are in busy clinics. So there is nothing wrong in discussing it in the first day itself. Because this is a practical thing. See, you could be getting a needle, you could be getting the glass material, and you need to dispose it off. और हमारे देश में वैसे भी बहुत कैजुअल अप्रोच है कूड़े को लेकर. सबको लगता है जहां फेंकना फेंक दी. तो वही है कि if you start from the first day, it will surely make a difference.
So, I'm going to
Thank
take
you.
a very slightly macabre example. मुझे कई बार लगता है कि देखिए डायबिटीज का डायग्नोसिस ऑलमोस्ट लाइक अ डेथ इन द फैमिली. द होल फैमिली चेंजेस, एवरीथिंग चेंजेस कंप्लीटली एंड फॉर द रेस्ट ऑफ योर लाइफ. एंड मुझे कई बार लगता है कि हमारे जो सिस्टम्स बने हैं, जो चौथा और 13वीं क्या है, कि दे कीप द फैमिली सो बिजी इनिशियली, ये करो ये करो ये करो ये करो, दैट इट टेक्स दैट इनिशियल शॉक ऑफ. So I would personally think that it's very important कि ये जो 10-12 की messages हैं आप पहले दिन पहले घंटे में ही दे दीजिए कि ये this is not going anywhere, please don't take it casually. खास करके आजकल because we have very good doctors and वो polyuria पे या बहुत ज्यादा बच्चे ने बेड वेटिंग कर दी तो यूरिन टेस्ट किया, यूरिन में शुगर आया तो, एंड अभी तो कीटोन्स भी माइल्ड ही है या कीटोन्स नहीं है, पिकअप इज अर्ली. तो आप एक खेलते हुए बच्चे के पेरेंट्स को बोलिए कि अच्छा 400 की शुगर है तो आप इंसुलिन शुरू कर दीजिए, एंड दे गेट very disgusted and they say we are going to another doctor, you're talking rubbish, please don't give us a garbage. But therefore it becomes even more important that we tell them right in the beginning that please don't take this casually, don't wait for that 400 to turn into ketoacidosis. Please be aware that जैसे आप इंसुलिन शुरू करेंगे आपको मॉनिटरिंग के साथ ही करना है, बिकॉज इट्स नॉट गोइंग टू बी समथिंग कि आपने इंसुलिन दे दिया और काम खत्म हो गया. और जैसे ही आप मॉनिटरिंग और इंसुलिन की बात करते हैं तो शार्प्स जनरेट होते हैं, तो उनको पहले दिन से ही, पहले घंटे से अगर आप बोलें. एंड द फोर्थ थिंग दैट आई फाइंड वेरी यूजफुल इज कि शुगर मॉनिटरिंग इज सो इम्पोर्टेंट ऑल्सो बिकॉज विद इन 2 to 3 days आपका हाइपोज शुरू हो जाएंगे. Even the sickest child, once you start controlling, the risk of hypo starts, and unless you're monitoring very regularly. So the honeymoon phase, the need for lifelong, the need for monitoring, and the need for safe disposal, I think should come within the first hour. And we need to tell them the key messages in the first hour, because the next day they're going to go doctor shopping. They are going to go and get another 2 or 3 or 4 opinions. And if those opinions are not clear and these 3 or 4 key points are not emphasized in the first day itself, I think we can lead to a lot of grief, because एक बार आप शुरू में misguide कर दो या ना guide करो, which not guiding is as good as misguiding, then later to correct it becomes very difficult. And I'll give you an example. When I started practice in 88 in diabetes, we used to mix R and N and give it twice a day. And each strip would cost 50 rupees. तो पैसे ही नहीं होते थे, तो कौन टेस्टिंग करे? बेनेडिक्ट के साथ जैसे कैसे कुछ काम करते थे. And then we moved to 3 shots and it was a fight. Then we said school में dose लगाओ. It was a big battle. Today, if I get a child diagnosed and I say from the first day इसको 5 shots लगेंगे and school में भी लगेगा, the acceptance is much easier because वो पहले दिन से you said it, you've not made them change. We know so many people who are on 2 mixed starts a day and they say we can't change. We're getting kidney failure, doesn't matter, but we will not change. So if we can say it from the very beginning, I think it actually makes life easier.
Right, madam. It's very important that what you tell to the family and the patient on the first day, they will remember it for the rest of their life. We have to be very sure and very correct, scientifically correct. We have got 4 minutes left. I just have one more, question to you, madam. Regarding the box that you showed initially, I think that is, can't we, because we tell our patients to buy so many things, but can't we ask them to buy that sharp container? There's a sharp container available. They can bring that.
Don't really need, because if we have just a thick plastic bottle, shampoo bottles are beautiful for that. We don't need to make them waste more money on that. And this is actually a powder bottle. It's not a sharp container at all. It's just a.
But you can still, there's a chance of the prick, if you're putting the needle in that wide opened bottle.
Okay.
So in the
wait, who's going to put that needle in? The child is pricking himself anyway, isn't
Yes.
it? जब 10 pricks आ रहा था 11वीं भी, and actually टूटता नहीं है, because the trick I'll tell you is when you first bend the needle, then it breaks very easily. If you try to break it in this, it doesn't break easily. Just bend it completely. Here's the needle and you fully bend it and then you break it inside. And maybe 1 in 100 times you would get a prick. And since the child is doing it himself or herself, he's getting pricked by the needle anyway.
Thank
I'm
you.
simply as a way of, see, as Harsh pointed out, the theory is very nice. In practice, it hardly ever happens. So let's at least do whatever little we can. If we get a 10% safety is better than 0 safety. If we can get 20% safety after sensitizing to the 10% is better than 10. So progressively, whatever we can do.
Thank you, madam. So just to summarize that, this is a very important topic. We need to educate the physicians treating type 1 diabetes. We need to educate the children and the families on the day first of the diagnosis, and other families also, those who have a long-standing diabetes. And we need to involve the engineers, the environmental engineers, and how to appropriately dispose that, because we still don't know. I don't know. I live in Srinagar. I don't know. Most of this waste goes to the municipal garbages. So I think we have found many challenges and we need to find answers, or maybe if we can draft a 10-pointer or a 5-pointer thing, that what things we need to do so that we learn, because there are a lot of things that we need to further discuss. And thank you very much. And I hand over the session to Riddhi now for the vote of thanks.
First of all, let me really thank the clinicians present here, Dr. Anju Virmani, Dr. Ovais, Dr. Hitesh. I think each of you have brought in very relevant and amazing perspectives. Dr. Anju, with her experience of meeting so many families and children, gives a very rich experience to say how to handle the sensitive side. And I'm totally with you, ma'am, to say bad news first, pehle hi bata do. So the systems are set. Same with Dr. Hitesh. I think you also brought in a very nice perspective to say clinicians also need to do a lot. And that's why we recognize the collaborative need. I feel Dr. Ovais could really, add on to what are the best global practices and recognize the need where we need to bridge the gaps. So thank you, Dr. Oves, for bringing in that insight. Harshji and Bachchanji, we are very thankful to you for your experience. Firstly, living with type 1 diabetes. Harsh, for you, you've been handling the pharmacy as well as meeting so many caregivers as well as children. So you also understand and bring to light the really practical problems. And I think Bachchanji, you were not here just by chance. I think that's where we were missing the loop. And I can't thank enough for agreeing to participate last minute. You brought in amazing expertise here, and I can assure
Yes,
we are not going to leave you now. So we really need to take this up.
Yes.
And I think from my own, request, I can add on to say Harshi and Bachchanji will join me, requesting all the type 1, members who are on this webinar. If you're listening to us, let's take a collective pledge today. Yesterday was 26th January, but we owe it to our country to be responsible citizens. We have the clinician support. We are blessed to have Empower T1D and so many other clinicians backing us. But as responsible citizens, let's take this collective pledge. For those of you who are listening, many support groups are listening. We will come back to you with a separate support group session in your regional language. Do keep in touch and reach out to us. And I close this evening, one thank you for the Empower founder members and tie-up founder members for, forming this amazing community. And month in, month out, we'll bring, more enlightening sessions to you. So thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful evening. And thank you, Team USP, for having our back on this.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.